What if everything we think we know about human history is off by thousands of years? What if the most advanced civilization to ever walk the earth didn't die in myth, but was buried by time, and its knowledge stolen? Atlantis. The name alone triggers images of sunken temples, mysterious ruins, crystal tech, and a lost golden age. But what if Atlantis wasn't just a legend? What if Plato's account was history, distorted and suppressed? What if its technology didn't vanish, but was taken, repackaged, and used by secret societies, empires, and even today's elite? This isn't fantasy. This is a blueprint, a forgotten chapter of humanity that still haunts our geopolitics, religions, and technological breakthroughs. Let's go deep into the true story of Atlantis, what it was, who destroyed it, and why its legacy is more dangerous than ever. Chapter 1. Plato's Warning. The first account of Atlantis comes not from folklore or mythology, but from Plato, the most revered philosopher of Western civilization. In two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE, Plato describes a high-tech, hyper-advanced civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. Atlantis, he says, was a massive island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, a powerful naval empire that had mastered energy, geometry, spiritual science, and geoengineering. It wasn't destroyed by war. It was destroyed by hubris, a divine punishment for its fall into corruption. Atlantis was swallowed by the sea in a single day and night of misfortune. Sound like myth? Maybe. But Plato's reputation wasn't built on fairy tales. Scholars today still debate whether he was recording real oral traditions from Egypt, passed down through Solon, an Athenian lawmaker who traveled to the temples of Sais. And here's the kicker. Plato said this story was true. Chapter 2. Atlantis in Global Myth. Atlantis isn't unique. Almost every ancient culture has a story about a lost golden age or a great flood. In Mesopotamia, it's the Epic of Gilgamesh and the flood of Utnapishtim. In the Bible, Noah's flood wipes the slate clean. The Aztecs believed in 4 worlds before the current one, each ending in cataclysm. The Dogon people of Mali speak of amphibious sky beings from a lost land who brought sacred knowledge. These aren't just stories. They're resonant memory, cross-cultural echoes of a real event that rewrote history. The mistake was assuming Atlantis was just one city. More likely, it was a network of civilizations, advanced enclaves that existed before the current epoch, and they may have been erased by something massive, cosmic, technological, or both. Chapter 3. Ancient Tech. They Shouldn't Have Had. Here's where things get weird. The ancients left clues, not of primitive societies, but of technologies that don't belong in their timeline. Baalbek, Lebanon, 1,000-ton stone blocks precisely aligned. The Great Pyramid, built with mathematical constants, aligned to true north, housing 0 hieroglyphs. Sacsayhuaman, Peru, stonework with interlocking precision impossible to replicate today. What kind of tools did they use? Copper chisels, or something else entirely. Sound-based stone shaping, magnetic levitation, plasma energy. Even mainstream science admits we don't know. And what if those tools, those Atlantean technologies, didn't disappear, but went underground? Chapter 4. Maps that Shouldn't Exist. In 1513, Admiral Piri Reis of the Ottoman Navy drew a map using older sources now lost. The result? A map showing Antarctica's coastline, ice-free. This was centuries before modern Antarctic exploration. It wasn't fully mapped until the 20th century, yet here it was on a 500-year-old skin parchment. How? Where did these ancient source maps come from? Atlantean archives passed down through secret libraries. Knowledge preserved by the survivors of the cataclysm? These maps suggest not just advanced cartography, but a global maritime civilization. Chapter 5. The Elites Who Obsessed Over Atlantis. Here's where the trail gets dark. Atlantis wasn't just a curiosity for historians. It became an obsession for secret societies and political elites. Theosophists like Madame Blavatsky believed Atlantis was a real race of powerful adepts, precursors to Aryan man. The Thule Society, precursor to the Nazi Party, believed in Atlantis as the origin of the master race. Himmler's SS funded expeditions to Tibet and Antarctica to uncover Atlantean roots. They believed Atlantis wasn't just ancient, it was the source of sacred knowledge, the origin point of hidden human potential. And they weren't the only ones. Rumors swirl about Vatican archives, Masonic temples, and NASA scientists all holding pieces of this puzzle. Chapter 6: Antarctica, the final Atlantean frontier. In recent years, something strange has happened. Major world leaders, including John Kerry, Russian Patriarch Kirill, and astronaut Buzz Aldrin, all made sudden, unexplained visits to Antarctica. Satellite imagery shows geometric anomalies beneath the ice. Whistleblowers talk about ancient ruins, massive domes, and even non-human technology buried under miles of snow. Some believe Antarctica was Atlantis, or one of its outposts. That during the last pole shift, the continent moved south and froze. And now, as ice melts, the secrets return. What's buried beneath Antarctica could change everything we know about human origins. Chapter 7: The Atlantean Legacy Today. What if I told you the most powerful innovations in the modern world? Free energy, quantum computing, vibrational medicine, zero-point propulsion, all trace back to recovered Atlantean knowledge. Some say Tesla was given blueprints from ancient texts. Others say the Philadelphia experiment was an attempt to recreate Atlantean field manipulation. The idea, that elite tech, like what DARPA and black budget programs develop, isn't new at all. It's old knowledge, repackaged, hidden in plain sight. Why else would free energy remain suppressed? Why else do official archaeologists protect the narrative so aggressively? Because if Atlantis was real, and it held these keys, the current system collapses. Chapter 8: Why the Truth Was Buried. So why the cover-up? Why the denial? Because power fears origin stories that don't serve the narrative. If Atlantis was real, it means humans had advanced tech long before the Industrial Revolution. History is cyclical, not linear. There was a reset, and another could come. It also implies there are those who remember, lineages, secret orders, and elite families who preserved the knowledge and kept it to themselves. Control history, and you control the future. Let the masses believe in cavemen and spears. Meanwhile, you manipulate frequency, geometry, consciousness. Chapter 9: Spirituality, Pulse Science. Atlantis. What made Atlantis dangerous wasn't just tech. It was tech integrated with spirituality. Atlanteans didn't separate science and consciousness. They used crystals for energy, sound for healing, geometry for architecture, and mind for manifestation. That's the real threat. Because when human beings learn to activate their inner faculties, when they align with energy laws, harmonics, and divine patterning, they become ungovernable. The return of Atlantis isn't about ruins. It's about remembering what we are. And that's what the system fears most. Chapter 10: Atlantis never left. The ocean swallowed the cities, but the knowledge survived. In secret orders. In ruins. In art. In myth. Atlantis isn't coming back, because it never left. It lives in the blueprints of the elite, in the structure of ancient temples, in the dreams of rebels and visionaries. And now the tide is shifting. As AI rises, as Antarctica melts, as consciousness awakens, the Atlantean cycle begins again. Will we repeat the fall, or restore the harmony? The choice is ours. But the story is real. Atlantis was real, and its technology never disappeared.